Hi, I'm Luke. Welcome back to 100 Days of SwiftUI. Today is day 13, looking at protocols and extensions. Okay, I'm going to do the test for protocols. Is this a valid protocol, true or false? We have a protocol swimmable and a property depth with a get. It doesn't say what type depth is. I don't think that's valid. Yes, and there's a type annotation for depth. We have a protocol purchasable and a property price, which is a double with a getter and setter. And we have a property currency, which is a string with a getter and setter. Yep, this looks valid. We have a protocol climbable with a property height, which is a double and a getter, and a property gradient with which is an integer and a getter. Yep, this looks valid. We have a protocol mailable with a property width, which is a double. All right, it's got a comma in between the get and the set. I don't think that's valid. Yeah. We have a protocol storeable with, it just declares fluffiness. It should have a var in front of it, so that's not valid. We have a protocol learnable with a property difficulty, which is an integer, and a getter. That looks valid. We have a protocol washable with a property dirtiness level, which is an integer, and it's got a getter and setter. This looks valid. We have a struct. This is a struct, so it's not a valid protocol, so this is not valid. We have a protocol singable with property lyrics, which is an array of strings, and a getter and setter, and a property notes, which is an array of strings, which also has getter and setter. This looks valid. With a protocol plannable with the property requirements, which is an array of strings and a getter and setter. This looks valid. We have a protocol buildable with a property number of bricks, which is an integer and a setter, and a property materials which is an array of strings with a setter. That looks valid. So it's got to have get as well. Okay. We have a protocol liftable with the property weight, which is a double. It doesn't have the getter and setter inside the parentheses, inside the curly braces, so it's not going to work. Yeah. Okay, one wrong. Okay, now I'm going to do the test on extensions. So this code is a valid extension, true or false. We have an extension double with the property is negative, which is a boolean, and it returns whether self is less than 0. That looks good. Okay. We have an extension int with pi is even. Is even doesn't have a type, so that's not going to be valid. So that's false. Yeah, is even is missing a type annotation. We've got an extension string with a function append, which takes in other, which is a string, and it appends the other to itself. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, it's got to be marked mutating. Okay. With the extension int, and it doesn't have func before the function, so that's not valid. We've got, it should be extension, not ext, so that's not valid. We have an extension int, and is answer to life, universe, and everything, which is a boolean. And we've got a constant target, which is 42. And we do self dot. We set self to target, but we should actually be returning that, so that's not valid. Yeah, it doesn't actually return a value. All right, we've got an extension bool with a function toggle, which is returns a boolean. Yeah, so it just sets it to the opposite state of whatever it is. So that looks good. Oh, that should be a double equals to equate it. Okay. We've got an extension int with a function cubed, which returns an int, and it returns whatever the number is multiplied by itself 3 times. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, we have an extension int and a function clamped, which takes in a min, which is an int, and a max, which is an int, and returns an int. And if the number is greater than the maximum, it returns the maximum. If the number is less than the minimum, it returns the minimum. Otherwise, it returns itself. Yep, that looks good. With an extension string, with a property islong, which is a bool, and it returns whether the count is greater than 25. Where's it getting count from? I don't think that's valid. Oh, that is valid. We have an extension string with a function with prefix, with the prefix which is a string, and we have if self.has prefix, then it returns itself. Otherwise, it returns the prefix and then self. Yeah, so it looks like if something's already at the beginning, then it just returns itself. Otherwise, it adds it to the beginning. So yeah, I'd say that's true. Okay, we have an extension string with a function is uppercased, and it checks to see whether itself is the same as the self when all the letters are uppercase. So yeah, I'd say that's valid. Okay, a couple wrong there, but we're getting there. Okay, now I'm going to do the test for protocol extensions. So this extension correctly implements a method from its protocol, true or false. So we have a protocol dog trainer with a function train, which takes in a string called dog, and it prints will make dog behave in no time. This is setting a protocol, not an extension, so I don't think that's right. Yeah. We have a protocol chef and a function get recipes, which returns an array of strings. And we have an extension chief. Okay, that's extension chief, not chef, so that's not a valid extension of chef, so that's false. We have a protocol smartphone with a function make call, and it's got to name and get and set. I think the get and set should be outside. It doesn't look right. I'm going to say no. Yeah, it's invalid syntax. Okay, we have a protocol politician with a variable is dirty, which is a boolean, and we've got a getter and setter, and we've got a function take bribe. We have an extension politician, and we have function take bribe, and it's going to check if is dirty is true or false. Yeah, that looks good. So if they're dirty, it's going to print thank you very much. Otherwise, it's going to print someone called the police. Yeah, that looks valid. Yeah. We have a protocol anime and property available languages, which is an array of strings with getter and setter, and a function watch. And it's got in language, which is a string. And we have an extension for anime with the function watch and is language, which is a string. And we've got if available languages contains language, it's going to print now playing in that language. Otherwise, it's going to print unrecognized language. Yeah, that looks valid. Yeah. Okay, we have a protocol club with a function organize meeting, which takes in a string called day, and we have an extension for club. I don't think override's necessary when you redefine the function in an extension. I think you can just do function organize meeting. So I'd say this is false. Yeah, the override keyword must not be used here. We have a protocol superhero movie with a function writeScript, which returns a string. And we have an extension superhero movie with a function makeScript, which returns a string, and it's going to return lots of special effects, some half-baked jokes, and a hint of another sequel at the end. Yeah, so that looks good. Oh, it's writeScript and makeScript, so they're different. We have a protocol mammal with a function eat, and we have an extension mammal with a function eat, and it says time for dinner. Yeah, that looks good. With a protocol bartender with the function make drink. It should be having parenthesis after make drink, so that's not going to be valid. With a protocol hamster with the property name, which is a string, and it's got getter and a setter, and a function running wheel, and it takes in an integer called minutes. And we have an extension hamster with the function running wheel, which takes in an integer called minutes, and it prints name is going for a run, and for each minute in minutes, it's going to print were. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. With a protocol starship with the function transport, which has a number which is an integer. And we have an extension for starship with the function transport, which has an integer called number. And it says number to beam up, energize. Yep, that looks valid. With a protocol fencer with the function fence foil, and an extension for fencer, which has the function fence foil, and it prints on guard. Yep, that looks valid. Okay, one wrong. Okay, now I'm going to do checkpoint 8. Make a protocol that describes a building. Your protocol should require the following: a property storing how many rooms it has, a property storing the cost as an integer, a property storing the name of the estate agent selling the building, and a method for printing the sales summary of the building. And then create 2 structs, house and office, that conform to it. Okay. Let's open up Xcode and create a new playground. And checkpoint 8. Okay. So let's do a protocol. And let's call it building. So it's got a property rooms. So rooms is an integer. And we'll do a getter and setter. And property cost, which is also an integer. And do a getter and setter for that. And a property estate agent. Name, which will be a string. And we'll do a getter and setter for that. And a method for printing the sales summary of the building. So let's just put in sales summary. Okay. And so using this protocol, create 2 structs, house and office. So let's start with house. So this is a struct, house, and it conforms to building. So we have bar rooms, which is an integer, and bar cost, which is also an integer, and the state agent name, which is a string. And so we'll do func sales summary, and let's just print this building has rooms and is selling for, we'll put a dollar sign and the cost. By, and then let's add in the estate agent name. Okay, and now we'll also create an office. So right off office, which is a building. So it'll have rooms, which is an int, the cost, which is an int, the estate agent name, which is a string, and we'll do func sales summary, and we'll do print. This office has rooms, and is selling for, they'll sign in, and then cost, and buy, and we'll put in the estate agent name. Okay, let's try them out and see how it goes. So we'll do example equals, let's start with the house. So for rooms, let's say 5, and cost is do $1 million. And estate agent name is, let's go with Ray White. And then let's call example dot sales summary, and we'll do office equals an office. Actually, we wanted all of that. So for rooms, let's do 10, and cost is, let's say 10 million, and estate agent is real estate, and we'll do office dot sales summary. All right, let's give that a go. This building has 5 rooms and is selling for $1 million by Ray White. And this office has 10 rooms and is selling for $10 million by Real Estate Inc. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.